This video will help you find the factored form of different quadratic expressions. So what I have done so far is take this very first expression and put it into Desmos. And if I'm creating the factored form, I know that I'm going to have x plus or minus some number, and then multiply that by x plus or minus some number. I don't know what that number is yet, but I'm going to use Desmos to help me. So I'm going to look for the zeros where the graph crosses the x-axis. Remember, zeros, x-intercepts, roots, they're all the same word, or they're all the same, are different words to express the same thing. Okay, so thinking about my factored form, if I'm at -2 and I'm trying to get what's inside the parentheses equal to 0, if I'm at -2, in order to get to 0, I would have to add 2. So my very first factor is going to be x plus 2. That means that my next factor, if I'm at -1 and I'm trying to get to 0, it's going to be x plus 1, because -1 plus 1 gives us 0. X plus 1. And I know that this is correct because the blue graph is directly on top of the red graph. They're the same graph. They make the same curve. So right here, what I'm going to be looking for is one factor that's x plus 2 and another factor that's x plus 1 and these little cards down here. So x plus 2, x minus 1. I'm just going to go ahead and move some of these guys out of the way so that I'm able to find what I need. I see one here that's x plus 2, so I'm going to go ahead and match it up. And now my next one that I'm looking for is going to be x minus 1. I'm going to have to do some digging here. All the way at the bottom. Beautiful. So I'm going to put these guys together as best as I can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we've got now our factored form. This is how you're going to complete each one of these guys. You're starting with the pink one and then finding an orange and a yellow one to match. If you're somebody who is good to go, stop watching and get started on the activity. If you're somebody who would like to see one more example together, we can definitely do that. So now I'm typing this next one, this next expression in Desmos. And I see that I have 2 zeros where x is 1 and where x is 8. So I'm going to have x plus or minus some number, x plus or minus some number. Well, if I'm at a positive 1 and I'm trying to get to 0, I would have to subtract 1. So the first factor will be x minus 1. And that means that our next factor over here will be x minus 8, because if I'm at positive 8 and I'm trying to get to 0, I would have to subtract 8. And that's beautiful. The purple graph and the green graph are the same curve exactly. So now I'm looking for an orange and a yellow to match this pink one. So luckily for me, I've got this x minus 1, and now I need x minus 8, which I find up here. And you are good to go. So you'll do this for the rest of the pink cards, for the rest of the slides, and turn into Echo when you are done.